I am at Costco. And once again, when it comes down to finding the ultimate keto items, they're usually not labeled as keto. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find the best keto items at Costco right now that you would never know are keto, because they don't have a big old keto certified label on them. They don't have keto plastered all over it. They're not trying to overmarket it. They're just good, wholesome products that work well on keto. So unless you know what you're looking for, you wouldn't be able to find them. So we're gonna find the top keto products that are not labeled as keto. Let's rock. Okay, this first one is this Rouse is how you say it, Alfredo sauce. I've tried this stuff. It's pretty darn good. It's not epic. I mean, it's not something that I would like seriously be writing home about, but it is a good, wholesome keto product. So let me show you what this looks like. Okay, so right now it's $9.99 for 2 of them, which isn't a tremendous value. But if we look at the ingredients, definitely keto friendly. Take a look at this. We've got milk, cream, Parmesan cheese. We've got salt, disodium phosphate, which really isn't a huge deal there. Yeah, it's still a preservative, but modified cornstarch is the biggest issue here. One thing you do need to know about modified starches is they are very high glycemic. Okay, so a lot of times they do trigger an insulin spike, but that was pretty far down the list, and they're probably using that as a thickener. So I'm not gonna be too concerned about it. Now, if we look at the macros, look at that. Okay, we have 3 grams of carbs. Okay, 2 of which are coming from the milk sugars, because there's definitely no added sugar. So it's gonna have some lactose in there. So this is a really cool find, and definitely keto friendly. A lot of times people just walk right by it and they automatically think, they see tomato sauce too. They think, oh, that's not gonna work for me, pasta's not gonna work. You put that over some spaghetti squash, you put that over some like hearts of palm pasta, you put it over, it could work really, really well. Now what's funny is right while we're here, we can see this other marinara sauce that's from Rouse. Now with marinara, normally there's sugar added in it. And I've talked about this one before. I'm stoked on this because look, if you look at the ingredients, well, first of all, look at the carbohydrate count. Okay, that's not bad. 6 grams of carbs for a half a cup. That's about your serving size, really. Now let's see what the ingredients are. Okay, this is what gets me pretty pumped. When you look at it, you see you got Italian whole roasted peel, or whole peeled tomatoes, excuse me, olive oil, onions, salt, garlic, basil, black pepper, and oregano. So there's no added sugar. The sugar is definitely just coming from the tomatoes. I also like that the oil they're adding in it is olive oil. Okay, so we get that rich oleoethanolamine, which is called OEA, coming from the oleic acid of olive oil. Plus, olive oil is full of antioxidants. We've got hydroxytyrosol, all these things that are tremendous monounsaturated fats and antioxidant compounds that don't just do good things for you in general, but exponentially can improve how you activate fat adaptation, okay, PPAR alpha. So I'm a big fan of olive oil. I don't think there's enough in this product to really like do anything crazy, but it's still worth noting. So definitely a tremendous keto product that is not labeled as keto. This is what I do in my spare time. Like I honestly, like I'll go to the grocery store and I'll just see what's coming out on the market, what's new, like what's emerging, and what are people trying to pawn off as keto or paleo, like what kind of nefarious acts are people up to, but also what good products are coming out. So let's keep looking. All right, now you would probably know tuna is probably a pretty good keto find, right? But there's a lot of things that people have to say about tuna, okay? They get upset about the mercury thing. Well, there's some recent evidence that's starting to come out that's showing that because tuna is so high in selenium, which is another powerful mineral, it could potentially counteract some of the negative effects of mercury. You see, mercury binds to selenium, and because the selenium content is so high in tuna, that means that when you're potentially consuming the small amounts of mercury that is in tuna, the selenium can bind to it, and that could potentially allow it to be excreted and metabolized better rather than going through its normal function, which it's pretty hard to leave the body. So let's take a look at the different kinds they have, and let's take a look at which one might be the best. Chicken of the sea, no, that's not the highest quality. One of the things you should know is that albacore, if you look at the chart that's popping up on the screen right now, albacore is much higher in mercury, even if you're looking at that situation, than say, chunk light or skipjack. Okay, so definitely something to be paying attention to. Also, ahi is a little bit higher, so you want to be paying attention. Ahi, albacore, maybe not the best ones to go with, although I do like Wild Planet's whole like mantra about really being pole and line caught. But I do like this yellowfin, and it's in olive oil, which, here's the thing. If you're looking to make like a sandwich, or you're looking to kind of just enjoy tuna for the protein's sake, get it with water. Get the chunk light with water. I would probably get, in this case, I don't see skipjack, so I'd probably get this one, this ahi wild yellowfin. A little bit higher mercury content, but it's better than the chicken of the sea. But if you want yellowfin and you actually want it with some olive oil, the nice thing about this product, check it out. See if you can see that. Extra virgin olive oil, sea salt. So why would I want it with oil? Well, in this case, I would say you can eat this straight out of the can. Okay, you don't have, like this, you're realistically gonna probably mix it with mayonnaise or do something like that. If you're getting tuna with olive oil, you could have it straight out of the can. I usually shy away from tuna in oil because usually it's cottonseed oil or rapeseed oil or soybean oil, but I love that that's actually real extra virgin olive oil. So here's the product again, just so you can see it. It's this Portofino brand, $9.99 for an 8-pack, which is pretty darn good. That's a pretty darn good price. Okay, that's 27, just about 28 cents per ounce. So a heck of a bargain too, considering there's good quality olive oil. Check that out. $8.99. These are California crazy inflated prices, right? For this Thai Kitchen organic coconut milk that's unsweetened. Looking for a coffee replacement, or excuse me, not a coffee replacement, looking for a coffee creamer replacement, looking for something to replace half and half, heavy cream. You can't really whip this stuff, but look at the ingredients here. We have, where did we go here? Okay, look at that. Okay, only 2 grams of carbs. Okay, and when you look at the actual ingredients, pretty straightforward. Okay, we have organic coconut, water, and guar gum. Guar gum is just thickener, but it's also some, I don't want to say it's an emulsifier, but it's making it so that it doesn't totally separate. This stuff, if you were eliminating dairy or just trying to reduce dairy or even just trying to switch it up, game changer. Okay, now here's the thing. Coconut also very rich in MCTs. Okay, so you've got those medium chain triglycerides, so tremendous for stimulating ketone production, ketogenesis. But also MCTs, there's some cool studies that have shown that they can actually stimulate more thermogenesis. They can stimulate your body's resting metabolic rate to be a little bit higher. So you might actually get a little added benefit by adding that to your coffee instead of utilizing, say, half and half, which I'm not opposed to half and half or heavy cream, but just a heck of a good find. I love when I come across something totally new, something awesome. Check this out. Okay, I just found Pura Vida fire roasted Brussels sprouts with bacon. What is in here? Check this out. Okay, we have, now you're gonna discover this with me. It may or may not be good. Definitely gonna buy this though, unless it's terrible. Okay, a mix of Brussels sprouts and naturally smoked uncured bacon tossed in extra virgin olive oil. Let's see. Okay, we got Brussels sprouts, we've got natural uncured bacon with no nitrites or nitrates added except for those naturally occurring. Awesome. Okay, we've got a little bit of cane sugar, probably in the bacon, cultured celery juice, natural flavors, extra virgin olive oil. Okay, outside of the natural flavors, that is a pretty darn good find. Really nothing terrible in there. We got a little bit of sugar that's coming from the bacon, but look at, we only have 5 grams of carbs and only 1 gram of sugar total, including 0 grams of added sugars, which doesn't really add up. It's a little confusing, but it's definitely in the bacon. So I'm gonna get this because I think what I would like to do is I'd like to throw that in an air fryer. Man, I'm tongue twisted today. An air fryer, see what we can come out of that. You know why I like Brussels sprouts as a keto item so much? Is because they are a cruciferous vegetable, which I'm always trying to get more of. Okay, they can really play a role in estrogen metabolism, but they're also just tremendous when it comes down to being a great fiber for those bacteria that produce butyrate producers. Butyrate, when it's in our gut, is a short chain fatty acid. So basically, bacteria break down certain veggies and they produce short chain fatty acids. That's right, bacteria produce things that help us metabolize. So there's evidence that shows that when we produce more butyrate, more of these short chain fatty acids from good bacteria, we can actually potentially drive ketone levels higher, but more importantly, we can improve fatty acid oxidation. So outside, independent of ketosis, driving fatty acid utilization, just like the name implies, means our body becomes better at utilizing fats. That is always a good thing, whether you are keto or not. So I am stoked about this product. Definitely grabbing one of those. We're in one of my favorite sections, the bar section. All right, so much interesting stuff in the world of bars. And honestly, there's not a whole lot that I would recommend here. I mean, the protein bars from Kirkland, if we take a look, talked about these a lot. They really just kind of miss the mark. The carb count is just too high. It's just 22 grams of carbs, 10 grams of fiber, so that puts you at 12 grams of carbs. And then we have erythritol, so it still puts you at 10 grams of carbs. That's just not gonna fly on keto. That's just really cutting it. I don't even want to say a tad too close, just a lot. Really, that would just be aggressive. So there's not a whole lot. And then we look at these pure protein bars. Yeah, which is same kind of thing. Bunch of sugar alcohols. Yeah, that's not going to fly with you. I think these even have maltitol in them. Hydrolyzed collagen. Yeah, maltitol. See that? That's a problem. That's going to make you run into the bathroom, especially if you overdo it. Definitely not a solid meal replacement. I will say, the sponsor of today's video, just so that you know, is a product called the Good Lovin Bar. So I want to make sure that I give them a massive shout out, because when you look at the selection of bars in Costco, it just illuminates that it's really difficult to find good bars. One of the ones that I've been using, and again, they're a sponsor on this channel, and they have been since I discovered them at Aldi about, I don't know, a year ago. They are in the refrigerated section of most grocery stores, but you can use that link down below in the description if you want to save 20% off and try them out. They are so pure and have such good products in them, such good ingredients, that they are in the refrigerated section. There's no preservatives. That's how a bar, in terms of a whole food bar, really should look. Now, I know like there's been other bars that have come through Costco that are still really good. Like I'm still a fan of, like, Love Good Fats bar, like phenomenal product. I really, really like it. Good Lovin Bar, in my opinion, it's just different, right? It's a bar that you're going to find in the refrigerated section, because it's not the kind that's just on the regular shelf. So it's just a whole different ballgame. It's more of a meal replacement bar in the sense that it has a lot of what you need, but it's also totally keto friendly, and it's marketed towards keto because of that. It's just really good. My personal favorite, I love the mint chocolate chip. Their peanut butter and jelly, I try to limit the peanut butter flavoring just because I don't do a whole lot of peanuts, but the peanut butter and jelly flavor, oh my gosh. And monk fruit, stevia sweetened. Anyway, so there's a link down below. Definitely recommend you check them out. And a big thank you to them for sponsoring this content so that I can continue to do what I do. Okay, and then we have my favorite nut of all time, which is the macadamia nut. Now, macadamia nuts obviously not labeled as keto, but have really kind of developed the name as being the keto nut. So it kind of goes without saying. The thing I like about this product is macadamia nuts and sea salt. That's all there is to it. Nothing else in it. It's not roasted in any oil. There's nothing weird. And I do really like something I like about these. Look at how big those giant macadamia nuts are. They're not GMO. They're not adulterated. There's nothing weird about them. They're just big, old, giant macadamia nuts. And there's something so satisfying about them when they're like that. Dry roasted, meaning they're not adding additional oils into it, which is something you definitely want to be paying attention to. They do have a nice little selection of where they're sourced from, which can sometimes be frustrating because you want to know the source, not like a bunch of different places. But that being said, the interesting thing about macadamia nuts, I'm going to get some more of these too. Macadamia nuts are not only phenomenal because they have a great omega-3, omega-6 profile, they're actually very low in omega-3s and low in omega-6s, making the ratio great. They're rich in other fats like palmitoleic acid. There's some interesting research, I don't remember the journal right offhand, that shows that palmitoleic acid can actually play a potential role in helping out with pancreatic beta cells, meaning that it could play a role in helping insulin sensitivity, which is good, again, not just for the keto goer. It's independent of keto. It's always a good thing to improve insulin sensitivity. You know, we're in this consistent battle against insulin resistance in this country, especially when I speak about the US. But if you look at the data, you start looking at PubMed and look at the research on macadamia nuts, palmitoleic acid, omega-7, it's pretty fascinating stuff, and I think we're just scratching the surface. So not labeled as keto, but definitely the keto nut you want to go for. Let me show you one more keto nut that I think is really powerful, and that's going to be, hey, it's interesting. Someone ditched macadamia nuts for Brazil nuts. Now, the issue we face with Brazil nuts is they're not as good of an omega-3, omega-6 profile, but I don't want that to dissuade you, okay? The omega-3, omega-6 ratio, it's really there so that you don't just go completely overboard on omega-6s. The way that you counterbalance it is make sure that you're getting omega-3s in place too, okay? The nice thing about Brazil nuts is they're a very low phytic acid content, so you're not having weird things that are basically chelating minerals. You want to, like almonds, even if you have too much of them, cashews rich in phytic acid, those are the ones that essentially are absorbing minerals in your gut and making it so that you're not absorbing those minerals. Now, with Brazil nuts, they're rich in, you guessed it, no, you probably didn't, maybe you did, selenium, okay? Why do I like selenium? Well, remember how I talked about the whole mercury thing? If you are consuming a good amount of tuna, having some Brazil nuts with tuna can potentially help. The higher your selenium levels, the more things that you can chelate in the way of mercury. Now, again, I shouldn't say that like so definitively because the data is done in mice, right? The studies are done in mice, the data comes from that. So it's not saying that you're going to absolutely neutralize mercury. but I do like what we're starting to see with selenium. Plus, it's also really good when it comes down to thyroid support. So there's another tremendous keto nut that isn't really marketed as a keto nut so much, when I think it's, man, one of the best. Here's something awesome. Again, not pushed as a keto product. Pumpkin seeds. Okay, I really do like pumpkin seeds. I like the zinc content of pumpkin seeds, and I like this product because, I don't know if you're familiar, but organic sprouted pumpkin seeds. Sprouted seeds are what you want to go for. And you know what I like? They're not pushing the keto thing here. They're not twisting up the marketing to try to just make it a perfect keto product. But look at this. 4 grams of carbs, 3 grams of fiber. That puts you at 1 gram of net carb. That is a tremendous keto carb ratio. So heck yes. But why do I like them so much? Well, the zinc, for one thing, tremendous for men when it comes down to testosterone. Great for immune support, great for that. But then there's some other pieces of the equation that we need to look at too. When you're looking at sprouted nuts and sprouted seeds, the sprouting process makes them more expensive, for one, so you can expect a markup there. But the sprouting process breaks down the phytates and the oxalates, which are usually pretty heavy in nuts and seeds. And that is the people that are kind of opposed to nuts and seeds' biggest agenda against them is, the phytic acid, the phytates, the oxalates, because they chelate in the gut, they chelate minerals. If you sprout them, that's not a problem. Okay, so I always look for sprouted nuts and sprouted seeds, and a lot of times I sprout them myself. And it's kind of a pain to sprout them and make sure you get them sprouted properly. So I love seeing that, and that was a pretty good bargain. So go for the sprouted nuts and seeds when you can, especially on keto. You'll find that you don't get the digestive upset as much. And long term, I think you're going to be better off. I think you're going to feel a lot better. When I made the decision to start really sprouting nuts a lot more, it really changed how my gut felt. I've suffered from IBS for, 2 decades. So anyhow, just fun fact, out of the selection of nut butters that we have here, we have this new peanut butter, we have their almond butter, and we have Nutso. Okay, obviously the almond butter, $5.79. That's a really good price. Okay, one thing I will say, at least the almonds are roasted. When you roast almonds, you do break down some of the phytic acids, right? You do break that down. So raw almond butter would be a little bit different. So the fact that it's roasted is definitely better. Peanut butter, I'm not the biggest fan of. Peanuts are technically a legume. At least they're organic. Okay, but that's a good value because you're getting 2 things there. Nutso is a great product. Look at the price though, $14.99 for 1. Now, we have cashews, almonds, Brazil nuts, flax seeds, chia seeds, hazelnuts, pumpkin seeds. Okay, cashews, very high in phytic acid. Almonds, pretty high in phytic acid. Brazil nuts, I love because of the selenium, right? Flax seeds and chia seeds, especially flax. Flax has way more soluble fiber than chia does. They're both great though. And flax seeds just come with a tremendous amount of research showing that they are just tremendously good for the gut. Okay, hazelnuts, also rich in soluble fiber. Okay, pumpkin seeds, we get that zinc and we get the Celtic sea salt. Okay, so let's see, in that little, you see right there, that little kind of crucifix sign, that means dry roasted. So the cashews are dry roasted, the almonds are dry roasted, the Brazil nuts are dry roasted, the flax seeds and the chia seeds are dry roasted, okay, and organic. So the only thing that's not organic in this, looks like, is the Celtic sea salt. So is it a great product? It's a great product. It's expensive, $14.99 for that. That's not realistic, right? But if you're really trying to make really good decisions on keto, I would say that's probably your best bet. The only trepidation I have is the cashew butter. That's just pretty high in phytic acid, pretty hard to outdo that in terms of just roasting the cashew. Anyhow, here's one, Hemp Hearts. If you've seen my hauls before, I've talked about these. Okay, Hemp Hearts, look at this, people don't realize this. Get 2 grams of carbs, 1 of which is fiber. 1 gram of net carbs in these Hemp Hearts, these organic Kirkland Hemp Hearts. Where's the price on them? Okay, we got $12.59. Okay, you can barely see that. That's gonna last you a long time. If you mix a little bit of these guys along with a little bit of these guys, it's actually a really cool, you can add a little bit of hot water, a little bit of those Hemp Hearts, a little bit of flax meal, a little bit of chia, let it kind of cook for a little bit, makes an oatmeal that you can eat. You can also rub it on your body, whatever, right? I guess it's kind of funny that I said make an oatmeal that you can eat. What else are you gonna do with it? I guess when I was a kid and I got poison oak really bad, which I used to always get, there were these oatmeal baths that you could take. You could put oatmeal in your bath and you pat this weird oatmeal on your skin where you have a rash. So I guess you could do that, but it probably wouldn't really work with keto oatmeal. Anyway, Hemp Hearts, like if you're doing especially like a plant-based keto, great way to get those methionine, those sulfur aminos. There's these things called sulfur aminos that are really difficult to get sometimes, hard to get in your diet, and you need them to make up your full essential amino acid profile to build muscle and to really allow your cells to recover and allow your body tissues to recover and things like that. Without those sulfur aminos that you would get from like hemp and things like that, it's really hard to have that full spectrum essential amino acid profile that you need. So they're always good to add in if you're not eating a lot of meat. If you're just kind of doing a lower protein keto, they're just a great thing in general. So they're not marketed as keto. In fact, they're marketed much more as just a plant-based item, but they're great for anyone that's on keto or for anyone that's really just trying to increase their fiber, increase their protein content, and just get a little bit more substance.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. I was just turning off.
Dude, I thought I subscribed to you.
Awesome, brother.
Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I'm literally just filming some Costco stuff.
I'll let you be.
Dude, you're good, man.
Dude, you helped me lose like 20 pounds.
Awesome, brother. You local? You live around here?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You around here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good to see you.
See you, man. That's awesome. I love when that happens. I don't know if you heard this guy, didn't put him on camera or anything, but yeah, ran into me, says, hey man, I follow you. Lost 20 pounds watching your videos. Love this stuff. I mean, that's a good way to end the video. So if you were watching this video to its entirety, you get to see that, which was awesome, or hear it at least. As always, keep it locked in here on my channel. I'm going to try to find some more things, but they're really catching on. They're starting to throw the keto label on stuff. And these are things that I showed you today that I buy, things that I would put in my pantry, things that I would put in my house, because I always go for the things that aren't labeled as keto, because once, just like anything, once it gets popular, once people figure it out, it kind of takes the fun out of it, right? Anyhow, I'll see you tomorrow.